Okay, we need to talk about something that's costing qualified candidates real opportunities. I've been reviewing tons of resumes lately, and honestly, some of the mistakes I'm seeing are the exact reason recruiters like me are hitting that reject button before you even get a chance to prove yourself. So if you're targeting a multi-six-figure roles and you're in an active job search, but you've been getting hit with rejections or hearing crickets after applying, there's a real possibility that one of these red flags I'm about to go over is playing a part. So grab a notebook because I'm about to break it all down for you. And even fixing just one of these could change the entire trajectory of your job search. Now, I do want to be honest with you because as we go through these, you're going to realize it's not about how qualified you are. It's actually about how you're being perceived on paper. And these little things could be quietly holding you back without you even realizing. So let's dive in. If your resume is not getting results, I want you to ask yourself these questions. Number one, do you have a picture on your resume? Unless you're applying for acting or modeling, including a photo can really hurt your chances. It actually introduces like this unconscious bias and it instantly looks outdated. And I've seen a lot of international candidates that are using pictures on their resume while it's accepted outside of the US. It's typically not a best practice here in the US. So if you have a resume, get rid of it. A lot of the AI generated templates that you see out there actually have a placeholder for it, but it's wrong. You shouldn't be using it, especially with 10, 15, 20 years of experience. I'm seeing some recent grads using it, but it's still not best practice, like I said, unless you're in a specific field that requires that. Number two, typos. I mean, this one should be obvious, especially with online tools to check your grammar, to check your typos, but I gotta tell you, it's not. I've seen manager spelled manger, universities and the name of degrees misspelled. I mean, if you can't catch these basic errors, especially if a particular organization is looking for somebody that needs to audit or be detail oriented, why would a company trust you with bigger responsibilities? This is an immediate red flag and one that would automatically get your resume rejected. So please have somebody look it over or run it through ChatGPT for typos, errors, what have you, to make sure that there's none on there because that's huge. Number three, copying and pasting the job descriptions. Okay, I know we were taught this at one point. It's not acceptable anymore. If your resume just lists tasks without showing results, impact, or leadership, you're blending in with everybody else. You're sounding like everybody else. And that's not what is going to get you the interview when you're dealing with hundreds, if not thousands of applications that you see on the job boards. So recruiters want to see the difference you made, not just what you were assigned. So before I dive deeper, let me quickly introduce myself because it might help you understand why I'm so passionate and maybe a little bit picky about these details. I'm Bonnie Negron, a former hiring manager with over 20 years of experience inside corporate America, working with Fortune 100 companies, small firms, mid-sized businesses across New York City. I've seen it all. I've heard it all. And now I'm on a mission to help job seekers break through all the noise and finally get into the right rooms. Today, I'm the owner of Bonnie Career Services, and I run the Career Shakeup community where I help powerhouse leaders, those seeking managers, director, VP, and even entrepreneurs land bold new roles, pivot strategically, and build lives they're genuinely excited about again. So if you're finding this helpful so far, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications because we're just getting started. Back to it. Number four, basic black and white templates from college. We're not in 2000s anymore. If your resume looks like it was created during your college days or even in the 1990s, it's time for a refresh. Modern, clean, professional layouts matter. Color matter. We're looking at it digitally now. We're not printing them out half the time. That's why black and white resumes really don't work. Number five, your resume is a novel. Unless you're applying for academic or healthcare roles, anything over 2 to 3 pages risk being skipped over. Short, strong, to the point. Strategy wins over and over again. Number six, multiple short-term roles without an explanation. I get it. Short stints happen, But if you don't explain them, recruiters fill in the blanks and they assume, and it's not usually in your favor. You need to label them clearly. Were they contracts? Were they temp roles? Add a quick note if necessary. Remember, your resume is a marketing document. It's not a legal document. You need to talk about what's relevant and make it crystal clear on what it is you're trying to accomplish and what has your experience been thus far. You have to put together those gaps, because if you allow whoever's reading it to fill in the gaps, they could inadvertently, mistake what those gaps were and make assumptions. A strong resume doesn't allow the reader to make assumptions. It's crystal clear on what's going on here. Number 7, saying yes to all screening questions. Oh my gosh, this is a number one killer of why they will really reject you. Because if you're saying yes to all screening questions, that you have the experience, that you have the degree, but then your resume doesn't back it up. I mean, if you say that you have skills like certain technical requirements, but then they're nowhere to be found on your resume, you've just created a trust gap, and trust gaps get resumes tossed. So be real cautious about that. If you're getting into the screening questions and you're saying yes to stuff, make sure it's on your resume, because you will not get that interview. Number 8, applying for a role you've never officially held without connecting the dots. If you're pivoting, great. It's what we do here in Career Shakeup. But show me why you're a fit. You have to highlight your transferable skills. You need to paint the picture clearly. You need to speak the language of the role that you're applying to in order for it to make sense that you have the transferable skills. If not, it's going to be rejected, because they're not going to understand why you're even applying to that position. And again, going back to what I said earlier, you don't want them to assume. Number 9, your LinkedIn and resume, they don't tell the same story. I can't tell you how many times I look at a LinkedIn, then go to the resume, things don't add up. I get the resume, I check them out on LinkedIn, the dates don't match. Or if you're working 3 jobs at once according to your profile, but then your resume doesn't have half those jobs on there, it looks sloppy, it seems dishonest. Everything needs to align accordingly. Number 10, listing consultant during a gap with no real evidence. If you're going to call yourself a consultant but can't point to results, industries, or actual clients, you're raising more questions than you're answering, okay? And when a resume raises more questions, then that's going to be a problem. That's going to lead to rejections. That's going to lead recruiters and hiring managers to move on to the candidate where it's clear as day, right? Number 11, applying out of state without explanation. This is another thing. If you're open to relocating or open to remote roles, spell it out. Otherwise, recruiters may assume you're applying randomly and they're going to pass. If you're applying, to East Coast jobs and you live on the West Coast, you need to explain that, because if you're not being clear that maybe there's a move coming up or you're going to be relocating and companies aren't open to a relocation package, they're going to assume that you're going to be looking for one and they're going to automatically reject you. So that's something that you truly need to keep in mind. If you're applying out of state and you've been getting rejections, you got to talk about why you're doing that. Number 12, maybe you haven't worked in 6 months or more and you don't explain it. Now, career gaps aren't career killers, but if you're keeping them guessing, why have you been out of work for so long? Have you been interviewing, but you're not getting the offers? Like, what's really going on? So you want to briefly share the reason. Maybe it was caregiving or relocation or sabbatical or health reasons, like whatever is true. But some companies do feel like if you haven't been working, maybe your skills aren't up to par. If you've had several positions and you've quit, like, will you just quit with them? So these are some of the questions that come up in company minds and hiring manager minds that you want to make sure that you're addressing so that there is no question. That's what's going to get you into the right room, right? Number 13, this is a big one because I'm seeing a lot. Many people have their own business. They have side hustles, but if you're just putting it on your resume, it could make it unclear like what's happening now. I mean, running a business is amazing, but if you're transitioning back into full-time employment, say it. Employers want to know if your focus is on their organization, not your business or your side hustle. That is also a big thing that I see rejections happening for. All right, if you spotted even one of these red flags on your resume, don't panic. The good news is every single one of these is fixable. If you have one of these situations, comment below and let us know. But the good news is, you can fix this because every single one of them is fixable with the right strategy. Now, if you need a personalized strategy to land your next role because you've been trying this on your own and you've eliminated these red flags and you're still not getting the traction, book a 15-minute career call with us. Only takes 15 minutes to see if we're able to help you. If we can, we'll let you know exactly how we can do that. Or if you're looking for more career resources, check out the link below. Join the Career Shakeup Club. It's my free private community over on Facebook. Or grab a copy of my book, The Career Shakeup Book, which will help give you a clear roadmap on how to start making changes in your career today. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Follow me on Instagram. And if you found today's video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because we're just getting started. I'll see you in the next one.